It has been quite some time. I almost forget how to talk to a camera. Like, you know when you record on Instagram, you get like that little Instagram voice? I don't know how to be myself. So anyway, I have a long story that I want to tell you guys. But before I get into the story, I have somebody I want to introduce y'all to. Say hi, guys. My name is Hayden James. I'm a boy. You gonna throw up? Oh, yes you did. Good job. Oh, here goes. Yeah. Well, this is my job, catching spit up from a little baby. He is 2 months old, and he is getting antsy, but we're gonna try and shh. I'm gonna go put him to sleep, and then I will finish this video. Oh man, where do I begin? So, I was due November 29th, 2022, and at the end of my pregnancy, around like 38 weeks, I would say actually the third trimester, a couple times I'd have my mom check my blood pressure, heart rate, all that stuff. My heart rate was like up, my blood pressure was up, but then every time I went to an appointment, it was down, or if I went to the hospital, it was down and looked normal. It was so irritating because I just don't understand. I was like so over it at that point. 11-21, which I think is a Monday, because I had him on a Wednesday. So that Monday of November, I was getting induced. The week before that, I had an appointment, and my blood pressure was like 200 over like 90 or something, and my OB didn't even have my appointment. He was like, well, go to the hospital, like you need to go get checked now, like your blood pressure's through the roof. I ended up going to the hospital this was the third time with the high blood pressure issue, and it went normal, so they sent me home again. I was so irritated. I had an appointment on the 21st, and this was at this point I was 38 weeks, and I was so annoyed. I was like, here we go again. I did not want to get like my cervix checked because the lady that did that the week beforehand, or 2 weeks beforehand, I believe, hurt. Like, she just went right up. I said, oh no, dude, don't touch me. I was like, no, I'm good. I was not looking forward to it. I didn't want to do it. Ended up being sent to go get induced. The doctor said there's no reason for you to be pregnant anymore. You keep having high blood pressure issues and we can't find out what the problem is. They said the baby's healthy, he's doing fine. Let's just get him out of you. I'm like, oh my gosh, hallelujah. Get him out before Thanksgiving so I can be home. I was so pumped. So I get to the hospital around like 5:40 p.m. That's when they like just check me in, you know, hook me up to fluids and all that just to get me prepared. I was kind of just like sitting in bed, or I was like bouncing on the medicine ball, kind of just hanging out with my mom, getting prepared for what was to come. I had no idea what was to come. My mom didn't know either because she didn't have an induction before, so this was fun. So we're waiting for a couple hours. 8:55 p.m. rolls around. They stick this small little white pill. It is called a misoprostol pill in my vagina, like behind my cervix. Oh my lord. When I tell you that I'm trying to shove it up there, like you could feel it like scraping against your cervix. That irritated me. But I was fine after that, you know, kind of like the pain kind of went away. I got a little crampy. And then like as time went on, I started getting contractions, like bearable ones, but like I was just like not. I was like, I haven't been crampy for 9 months. I was not feeling it, whatever. So then the following day comes. Yeah, it's like 2 hours later though. At 12:40 a.m. they stuck another one in me. Oh no, at 12:40 they gave me fluids, and then 1:15 a.m. they gave me another one of the misoprostol pill, whatever it is. And I was almost 2 centimeters dilated, but I was like, dude, I'm like not really dilated. This is absolutely annoying. I was like, I want the epidural, like I want it now. I don't even want to have to feel the pain when it starts, like, and they were like, you can't have it until you're at least 3 centimeters dilated. And so I was like, okay, I can push it out, like it's fine. while they were trying to put the pill inside of me this time, I guess just because of my hormones, my legs were shaking so uncontrollably. I was like, I can't stop moving. My body was it like felt like I was having a seizure, but I was like awake for it. And I was just like shaking the whole time. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't sit still. And she was like, it's okay, like just relax. And I was like, I literally can't. So at 1:40, which is like literally not even like 30 minutes later, they injected my arm with something to stop the contractions because I was getting constant contractions that like, were hurting, but they were doing absolutely nothing. I was not getting dilated at this point. Like, they were just coming on too strong, too fast, because they were inducing me, so they wanted to stop it. So at 2:03, I headed to bed. I was like, we're gonna just go to bed. You know, we need to get some sort of sleep because I had not slept since we got there, since that whole day. Like, I was just so drained from constantly having nurses and doctors come in and out of the room. So they wake me up at 7:20 a.m. They give me more fluids. And I started to feel contractions in my back. And I usually, when I have my cycle, I usually feel contractions in my back. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I feel this is not, you know, not normal. 9:45 a.m. Bro, they inserted 2, not 1, but 2 balloons inside of my boo-ha. Bro, when I tell you I was so uncomfortable, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I really hope that my next kids will not be induced. I was so uncomfortable. I could not move. I couldn't pee for a little bit because they wanted to make sure the balloon was good. I can't even explain to you. It was so weird. Okay, so this was at 12:15 or 12:51 p.m. This is the afternoon after they put the balloon in. My note says, I keep falling asleep, pressure in my booty hole, cramping in my lower right back. Like, why always be talking about my booty hole? But it felt like I had to poop, but I couldn't. I could not. 6:35 p.m. They put more fluids in me and they started the Pitocin, which was like the next resort because the misoprostol, so whatever who it is pill didn't work. I guess the balloon, they didn't really do much about the balloon. It was kind of just in there. They could only keep it in for a certain amount of hours and then we're going to take it out, I believe. So then 9:50, so this is like 3 hours later, they upped my Pitocin to 4 milliliters because, again, I wasn't getting contractions. Nothing was happening. At 11:03 p.m., they finally took the balloons out of me. I was 5 centimeters dilated. I hated that they had to shove their whole hand up there to check. I didn't like it. But yeah, I was 5 centimeters dilated and they were like, okay, you know, whatever, we're gonna pop your balloon. So they popped my balloon. I didn't feel anything. I didn't even feel it pop. I just felt all this hot liquid. It was hot, when I tell you. Like, I was cold in the hospital. I was like kind of okay with all this hot fluid being on me because I was cold. But it was hot and it was coming out and there was just like a flood. It just kept coming. I didn't look at anything. I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. No, ain't for me. So that was 11:03, and then 11:50 they gave me more fluids for an epidural. So 2 hours later, I was in pain after they popped my water. It hurt. Like, I was getting cramps. Well, like, yeah, technically. But I was getting contractions, and I was like, no. I literally went from 0 to 5, like, forcefully. Like, this was not natural, okay? This was, like, forceful. I can't imagine what natural feels like. I think I'd rather have gone through natural. Whatever. So I was like, I need an epidural. Ain't happening. So we get an epidural at 1:05 a.m. 2 hours later, I had to get a second one at 3 a.m. because the first one, she put it in my, what'd she say? A blood vessel. Bro, how's she gonna tell me, okay, it's in a blood vessel? You know, that was that. Within those 2 hours, I could not bear. Those contractions were so, my mom was sleeping and I was like, Mom, Mom, and I was really relaxed, okay? I was really relaxed. I was trying so hard not to like start crying or like tense up and freak out and like make it worse. So I was like calm, but I was like, I can't stand this. I can't. We called them in. They didn't give me it for another 2 hours until 3. I was like, I can't do this. So 3 o'clock comes around, it starts kicking in, it's taking its time, and it's not working. And I was like, oh, I can't feel anything. So that was pretty nice. Keep in mind, I only slept for like 5 hours this entire time. So this is the 23rd at this point. So at 6:45 a.m. the pressure started bothering me, like the pressure in your like butthole. And we called the nurse in, she still didn't come, and I was just like, okay. But like they were switching shifts, so I figured like, okay, maybe that's what they were doing. So 7:30 rolls around and the nurse comes in, and it's a new one, to come and check on me, but she didn't check my cervix, she didn't check on for anything, we were just waiting for the doctor. That was that. 3 hours go by again, it's 10 a.m. and we start pushing. She's like, we're gonna start practice pushing, but not the real deal. Girl, by the time it was 12:10 p.m. I pushed him out. When I tell you that I didn't even scream at all. That's how I was the entire time I pushed. Just like, just breathed, relaxed, didn't scream. I pushed him out and you could feel him coming out. You're not paralyzed in your hoo-ha. You're not paralyzed, okay? I felt it. So she was doing like a perineal rub, like the doctor or whatever. And she was like, you know, going in, pouring olive oil in me, massaging. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't do this during my pregnancy like they recommend, whatever. So, and then she's like stretching so that like I have like a less chance of tearing. Great, cool, I'm here for it. I'm like, okay, hopefully I don't tear. Bro, what do you know? His head's coming out and I'm like, wow, why is she stretching my pee hole? Like, oh, bro, that wasn't her stretching my pee hole. He ripped my pee hole. It hurt. It didn't hurt that bad, but I was just like, ooh, it burns. Like, stop stretching it. Like, you can chill. And then I was like, okay. I'm like thinking they just pulled the kid out by his head. She said, keep pushing. And his shoulders come flopping out. And I'm like, ooh, get out. Like, come on. And then I like felt him like the rest of his body just like come out because they pulled him out at that point. And it felt so weird. And then I started holding him. I didn't really cry. I was like, wow, I had a baby. Like, I did? Me? No. So I'm just holding him and like legs are just wide open and they're stitching me up. I didn't even feel like the stitching. It didn't really bother me because I was so focused on him. I didn't really pay any mind and it didn't really hurt regardless. But when I tell you afterwards, ooh, having to pee, bro, having to pee burned for weeks. I'm telling you, until I got home the first time, because I got readmitted a second time because his belly ruben was so high that he had to get in, like, readmitted into the NICU. That's when I got readmitted back in for my cuts because I thought I was having problems. She didn't tell me that I cut on the right side and not like straight down, or like, it was so weird. So I was like, it burns so bad. I don't even want to drink water because I don't want to pee, but then because I wasn't drinking enough water, the acid in my pee was making it hurt worse. So it was like, but now that I have him, I'm fully healed, not completely fully healed. I'm like 8 weeks postpartum and it still feels like I pushed him out. Like it hurts, not gonna lie. But he did give me like rug burns, which he said it was, like inside, and she couldn't really stitch me up. So they like stuck gauze inside of me and took it out, and it was just, but I want to have like 500 more children as long as they're not induced and they're just natural. I don't know, I feel like I would try to do a natural birth without the epidural, but he is such a sweetheart. He's such a little baby. He's so good. He's sleeping right now and I'm just like talking away. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to create more mommy content. If there's anything that you recommend or want to see, please leave your suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you guys around. I am not going anywhere anymore. I am literally a stay-at-home mom and full-time wedding photographer and videographer. So, yeah, also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at Mackenzie Hackney. I'm very active on both of those, so, and I'm just getting back into my postpartum fitness journey, so I hope you guys stick around for that and see it all. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.